Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. rejects call to abolish National Task Force to end local communist armed conflict. National Task Force to end local communist armed conflict seeks to include 280 terror-free barangays in BDP. Dry hot season begins as monsoon ends. Department of Agriculture to build mega food hubs in Clark and Quezon by 2026.
Good day everyone, as well as our troops at Camp Emilio Aguinaldo, Quezon City. Today is Thursday, March 27, and we will bring you the latest news from the armed forces and other information around the Philippines. In behalf of Rob Suzon, this is Joyce Imbahon for AFP Community News.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. rejected calls to abolish the National Task Force to end local communist armed conflict. According to the President, he is encouraged by the reports and the efforts by the NTF-ELCAC are bearing fruits and that it needs to continue. In its statement, National Security Council spokesperson, Assistant Director General Jonathan Malaya said, the President Marcos made it clear that he will never abolish the NTF-ELCAC. Meanwhile, Undersecretary Ernesto Torres Jr., NTF-ELCAC Executive Director, said the Anti-Communist Task Force chaired by the President Marcos also agreed on the sustainment of the Barangay Development Program.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And the National Task Force to end local communist armed conflict recommended to President Marcos Jr. to include the 280 barangays that were cleared of influence and threat from local terrorist groups in the Barangay Development Program. NTF-ELCAC Executive Director Undersecretary Ernesto Torres Jr. said the targeted barangays are located in Zamboanga City, Sulu, Lanao del Sur, Maguindanao del Sur, and Basilan. The BDP aims to improve the quality of life for residents in conflict-prone and conflict-affected barangays by implementing socio-economic interventions. Meanwhile, the original beneficiaries of the BDP are barangays cleared of influence and threat from the Communist Party of the Philippines, New People's Army, National Democratic Front. But Torres said communities freed from the influence and threat of the Abu Sayyaf Group, Dawla Islamiyah, and Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters should also be assisted by the government.
DWDD Armed Forces News. Armed Forces Radio.
For other updates, let us hear the details about 4th Regional Community Defense Group and 401st Community Defense Center hold ROTC and reservist advocacy activity in Batangas. Go ahead for the details, Leonor.
The 4th Regional Community Defense Group and the 401st Community Defense Center, Batangas, held in ROTC and the Service Advocacy event at SM City Batangas Events Hub. The events featured speakers from various sectors including the Batangas City Police, NICA 4A, Hands Off Our Children Movement, Youth for Peace, and ROTC unit commanders. Topics discussed during the said activity included women's empowerment, security awareness, the West Philippine Sea, and peace and development advocacy. Meanwhile, highlight during the event were for RCDG's mobile takeaways, photo, and static display, and the Cartada 4 magazine mascots, Furasi and Didrom the Mole, distributing flyers and encouraging people to join the Army Reserve Force and ROTC and the 59th Infantry Battalion's capability demonstration. This is Leonor Tanap reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Leonor.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And 278 individuals composed of former rebels, peace builders, former CTG mass supporters, and members of people's organizations received a house and lot during a turnover ceremony held at Sitio Limite, Barangay Daha, Dacus, San Isidro, Leyte. The said initiative was made possible under the Enhanced Comprehensive Local Integration Program through the collaborative efforts of the Leyte Provincial Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict. The project that started last 2021 amounted to 210 million pesos. Meanwhile, the Department of Interior and Local Government Regional and the National Housing Authority reminded the beneficiaries to take good care of their houses, highlighting the government grant is a one-time opportunity.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And the Municipal Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict of St. Bernard, Southern Leyte, declared the municipality in a state of stable internal peace and security condition in a ceremony held in the town's public terminal. Present during the ceremony were military and police officials from various AFP and PNP units in the area and representatives of the different government agencies in the municipality. Aside from the declaration, the signing of a memorandum of understanding and pledge of commitment was conducted by all members of the MTF-LCAC, solidifying their commitment towards long-lasting peace. Meanwhile, 802nd Infantry Peerless Brigade Deputy Brigade Commander Colonel Rico O. Amaro reaffirmed the Army's commitment to securing the community against the city's threats.
DWDD Armed Forces News. Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let us hear more from Mel Zoy about Infantry Squad Challenge 2025 opens in celebration of Cougar Battalion's 37th founding anniversary. Mel Zoy?
Yes, Jai, the 69th Infantry Cougar Battalion officially opened the Infantry Squad Challenge in commemoration of the 37th founding anniversary of the unit, a premier event designed to assess and enhance the skills of infantry squads. This competition will test participants' physical endurance, teamwork, and tactical proficiency through a series of rigorous exercises and various tactical scenarios. This squad challenge fosters camaraderie and sharpened the operational readiness of the squads. It is an essential step in preparing our personnel for future missions. The event runs until April 15, 2025 with squads from Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Headquarters Service Company. This is Meldray Nesho Aroko reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Mel Zoy.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And the 11th Infantry Alakdan Division facilitated a meaningful solidarity and iftar with Moro National Liberation Front communities in Barangay Buhanginan, Patikul, Sulu, and Kasumbuhan Village, Barangay Tagbak, Indanan, Sulu. The initiative sought to strengthen dialogue, deepen cultural understanding, and reinforce lasting peace in the province. The said activity was conducted in collaboration with the Office of the Presidential Advisor on Peace, Reconciliation, and Unity, Provincial Local Government Unit of Sulu, LGUs of Patikul and Indanan, the MNLF, and the Sulu Provincial Police Office. Meanwhile, 11th ID Officer in Charge, Brigadier General Christopher C. Tampus, Philippine Army, highlighted that the peace that Sulu enjoys today is a testament to the collective efforts of the military, the local government, the MNLF, the police, and the locals in the community.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And for our national news,
DWDD National News.
the dry season has officially begun as the northeast monsoon or amihan has ended. Pag-asa Administrator Nathaniel Servando said the shift of wind direction from northeasterly to easterly due to the establishment of the high pressure area over the northwestern Pacific signifies the termination of the northeast monsoon over most parts of the country. However, extreme northern Luzon may still experience occasional northeasterly winds. Servando said the day-to-day weather across the country will gradually become warmer, though isolated thunderstorms are also likely to occur.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear a report on the ground about 8th Civil Military Operations Battalion holds closing ceremony for PSYOPS Class 1-2025. Going for the details, Shaina.
The 8th Civil Military Operations Dangpanan Battalion successfully conducted the closing ceremony of the Psychological Operations Class 01-2025 held at the 8th CMO Battalion Headquarters. The ceremony marked the culmination of an intensive training program designed to enhance the participants' skills in psychological operations. Meanwhile, training also aimed to equip the participants with tools necessary to promote peace, unity, and positive community engagement. This is Shayna Raneta reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Shaina.
DWDD National News.
And the provinces of Pangasinan and Bulacan will experience the highest heat index today. Pag-asa said Pangasinan will experience between 46 degrees Celsius and 47 degrees Celsius temperature, while Bulacan, specifically in Sana, Ildefonso, at 43 degrees Celsius. Pag-asa defines heat index as the feeling of heat or the apparent temperature due to a combination of actual air and humidity.
DWDD National News.
And Transportation Secretary Vince Dizon gave assurances that the Department of Transportation and the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board will continue to address concerns surrounding the public transport modernization program. Dizon expressed DOTR's commitment to listening to both supporters and critics of the modernization program. He underscored the importance of gathering accurate data to resolve the challenges faced by PTMP. Among the key issues raised by NFTC members were the financing of modern transport units, route rationalization, wage concerns for transport workers, and the proliferation of unregistered public utility vehicles.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear more updates from Angel about Western Mindanao Command condemns the killing of an election officer in Maguindanao del Norte. Angel?
Joy, the Western Mindanao Command, or WestMincom, of the Armed Forces of the Philippines condemned the killing of Attorney Bay Maceda Abu, the election officer of Dato Odin Sinsuat, and her husband Jojo Abu by unidentified gunmen in the vicinity of Barangay Makirdos, Maguindanao del Norte. The WestMincom urged the public to help the security forces to put a stop to the criminal acts in the area. Meanwhile, WestMincom Commander Lieutenant General Antonio Navarrete assured the public that the Joint Task Force Central was directed to assist PRO Bar in the immediate apprehension of the culprits, strengthen security measures to diffuse tension, and prevent further escalation. This is Angel Cruz Camomot reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Angel.
DWDD National News.
And the Commission on Elections has renewed its warning on candidates for re-election against the use of government resources for political purposes during the duration of the campaign period. Chairman George Erwin Garcia warned barangay officials, saying that they are covered by the prohibition. The COMELEC chief said the abuse of government resources is not limited to distribution of government funds. He explained that an official might not be giving away cash or aids using government funds, but using government facilities is grounds for a criminal case and disqualification.
DWDD National News.
And Commission on Elections Chairman George Erwin Garcia will recommend placing Dato Odin Sinsuat under COMELEC control following the death of an election officer and her husband. Maceda Lidasan Abo was killed along with her husband Jojo Abo in an ambush yesterday, March 26. Garcia said he would personally recommend this to the Commission and Bank. He explained that there have been instances of violence in the area that over the past weeks and months, so it is only appropriate to place it under the COMELEC control. Under COMELEC Resolution number 11067, the Commission and Bank may place any political division, subdivision, unit or area affected under its immediate and direct control and supervision if the peace and order situation in the area will affect the conduct of the elections.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And we have a report coming in from Gio about 102nd Infantry Brigade joins peace and order meeting in Zamboanga, Sibugay. Gio?
Yes, Jai, the 102nd Infantry Zone Brigade joined the Peace and Order meeting held at the Municipal Hall of Tungawan. The meeting gathered heads and representatives from the different government agencies in the municipality to discuss the security situation in the area. It also included talks about the misinformative news circulating regarding the newly appointed BARM Interim Chief Minister and claims that rumors spreading inside the MILF discomfort of BARM political disputes is false and baseless. Meanwhile, the 102nd Infantry Brigade urged the attendees and the community to be vigilant of any disinformation and to assess the legitimacy of all information from the internet and analyze the purpose. This is Gio reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Gio.
DWDD National News.
And around 65 million pesos have been refunded from irregular senior high school voucher program claims involving 40 schools during school year 2021 to 2022. According to the Department of Education, the 54 schools that have been terminated from the program made full refunds, while 2 made partial refunds. 14 schools have yet to refund funds. Education Secretary Sonny Angara emphasized that the agency is taking decisive steps to strengthen the validation processes, hold erring schools accountable, and restore public trust in the senior high school voucher program.
DWDD National News.
And the Philippine Business for Education has reaffirmed its support for the adoption of micro-credentialing in Technical Vocational Education and Training, or TVET. It comes after the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority has launched efforts in advancing micro-credentialing, a system that provides modular, industry-recognized certifications in emerging fields such as artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and advanced manufacturing. These stackable credentials create a flexible and efficient pathway for workers and learners to gain job-ready competencies without requiring full-length degree programs. That's the introduced micro-credentialing, with the agency described as a way for learners to earn modular certifications for special skills and enable them to upskill, reskill, and gain formal recognition for their competencies without necessarily completing an entire course.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
More updates about Cagayan Provincial Government turns over sacks of rice to 17th Infantry Battalion and CAFGO patrol bases. Go ahead for the details, Spencer.
Yes, Jai, the provincial government of Cagayan turned over 200 sacks of rice to the military and its auxiliary in the province. 250 sacks of 50 kilos rice were distributed to the 17th Infantry Battalion at Capitol Main Building. According to Logistic Officer 2nd Lieutenant Arlene J. Palapas, Philippine Army, the sacks of rice will be distributed to 15 Citizen Armed Force Geographical Unit or CAFGU patrol bases and 1 company. Meanwhile, the provincial government Cagayan reaffirmed its commitment to support the military and its Citizen Armed Forces Geographical Unit patrol bases. This is Spencer reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Spencer.
DWDD National News.
And the Department of Agriculture is set to construct 2 mega food hubs in 2026 as part of the ongoing efforts to expand access to high-quality goods to Filipinos. The first food hub will be constructed in Clark, Pampanga on a property spanning 30 to 50 hectares. This will serve as a trading center for agricultural produce from northern Luzon. Meanwhile, the second will be located in Quezon Province, covering around 20 to 30 hectares, catering goods from southern Luzon and the Bicol region. The 2 facilities have an estimated cost of 3 billion to 7 billion pesos.
DWDD National News.
And Philippine Tobacco Growers Association President Saturnino Destor has called for the appointment of a tobacco sword who will strictly administer the implementation of the law to prevent the rampant tobacco smuggling activities in the country. Destor made the call as he expressed his sentiment on the government's lack of zeal to curb the illicit tobacco trade in the country. He also emphasized that the tobacco czar should be brave and can defend the industry. The PTGA president added that the czar must be able to confront smuggler groups and push for laws for the benefit of the farmers.
DWDD National News.
And for our final news, efforts to clean up rivers and waterways around the Ninoy Aquino International Airport have so far removed around 139,158 metric tons of silt and waste. The new NAIA Infra Corporation has started a cleanup drive since taking over the NAIA in September 2024. This aims to address the perennial flooding problem affecting NAIA and nearby communities in Parañaque, especially during typhoon season. NNIC President Ramon Ang said the cleanup covers 3 kilometers of river channels, including portions of the Parañaque River near Barangay Tambo, Don Galo River, and Villanueva Creek near Barangay La Huerta.
DWDD National News.
And that's all for today's broadcast. Thank you for joining us, especially to our audience in our Facebook page, DWDD AFP Radio. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for more updates, same time, same station. Again, this is Jai Zimbaon for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.